I've been in the industry now for 14 years.
Proper OG.
If you're a highly skilled SEO, you're always going to be able to make money anywhere in the world. People just don't know how to rank. How can someone say that something's high risk when for over a decade now, I've had assets earning me money on a month-by-month basis?
The rank and read model is like 600 something sites that you do?
Yeah, in total, there's 647 paying clients. There's over 500 different industries that we're in as well. What type of links, what velocity of links, how many articles and stuff are needed massively varies from one industry to the next. We don't really go down the model of doing the PBM route, but we mainly get them from you. Saket, how many people come to you? I'll argue with you that links don't work, or I don't want to buy your links, to a bit black hat and stuff like that. Well, that's fine, but you're not going to rank.
You're not a white hat and I'm not a black hat.
I'm a return on investment hat.
I love that.
Stop chasing traffic and try and start chasing ROI.
So you'd say these are like the top ranking factors at the moment in SEO?
Yeah. Probably the biggest industry that I think is going to get hit within SEO is...
James Dooley, welcome to the SEO Wisdom podcast. How are you?
How you doing?
Yeah, great. I love that cap you're wearing. Is it like the new branding, like 100 million SEO?
It's Charles Float initially designed it with Udish about 7 or 8 years ago, and he had like an SEO swag kind of shop, and then he just never kind of carried on with it. But I always liked that design, so I got like 40 caps in every single color that you can think of.
That's amazing.
So yeah, I've always done them, which is good, and all the different ones there, like
yeah. I mean, I love that like branding aspect to it, but still like see you as, you know, like the SEO Peaky Blinder with the accent, the strong accent and stuff. Yeah, me and the missus were talking about it, and he's like, she was watching one of your videos, you know, and she's like, oh shit, he's a Peaky Blinder.
Well, one of the SEO videos are like, I normally wear the Peaky Blinders flat caps when we go horse racing.
Okay.
But we always, if we ever get interviewed, if we win a race, we always get said, oh, it's the Peaky Blinders.
So James, like, yeah, a lot of people know you. You're kind of getting viral. Like, my homepage is like, I see it at least every few days. I'm like, okay, new podcast, James Dooley, James Dooley, James Dooley. For all the people who are familiar and not familiar, yeah, who's James Dooley? What does he specialize in? And yeah.
At present, I'm kind of going semi-viral online. But to be honest with you, I've been in the industry now for 14 years. I'm one of the originals, so to speak. So I've been through it all. I've got a lot of scars along the way from the growth that we've had. Obviously, we've had a lot of setbacks with algorithm updates and stuff like that. But yeah, I've been in it a long time, built out a few very successful iGaming casino type websites, do quite a lot of lead generation. A lot of people seem to be interested in the rank and rent model that we do, which we've got hundreds and hundreds of clients that are on the rank and rent model. But it all stems initially from lead generation. And then over the years, I've been starting acquiring service-based kind of companies that fulfill, let's say, content or backlinks and disavows and audits. Got a blended mix of everything. Mainly the businesses that I'm buying are stuff that we're paying money, quite a lot of it, spending quite a lot of money with. So I think naturally, as part of the growth, if I can part own these companies, it makes sense for me to do it, because one, it's going to bring my overheads down, but two, I can check quality control and making certain that everything that we're doing on our own sites is being tested properly and we're getting the best bang for our buck.
Sweet. And all these service-based businesses you're acquiring, you're just making sure that you fulfill kind of like that SEO aspect, or it's just like the full business like model? And
I mean, if I'm being honest, I hate client SEO. I can't think of anything worse than, because it's the only industry where if if you got a bricklayer to build you the wall, you allow him to go and build the wall. You don't stand over him and watch and saying, excuse me, why have you laid that brick in that way? Excuse me, how have you done that? Where in SEO, they feel like they need to ask what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how you're doing it, and every step of the way. And it's more about you need a management system and nice glossy reports. And it's less about the results and more about proving what you've done. So for that reason, I try to stay away from SEO, client SEO, but we do offer like white label type services for SEO agencies. So it could just be producing surfer optimized content or market moves optimized content, or it could just be like guest posting and stuff like that. But it's like I said, it's mainly it's probably a small percentage, maybe 1% of my asset value is service-based type stuff, but we've acquired them simply because we use those services as well for ourselves. We make the majority of our money on the casino affiliate and the lead generation rank and rent model. But so many people think I only do the rank and rent model, where everything starts out on the rank and rent model. It starts off with lead generation and then moves into the rank and rent model once we've worked with them for a few years. So, and it's just a part of lead generation, basically, for different industries and different niches.
Awesome. And the rank and rent model is like 600 something sites that you do?
Yeah, and so there's 647 paying clients. There's over 1,000 different websites that we've built out. I think there's more than that. There could even be over 2,000 that we've built out, but some of them have failed, which then we put into the testing team to push the boundaries of SEO and test those sites out and see what else can be done. It's not normally that we can't rank the websites. It's normally that the industry is just not profitable enough for us. So we kind of move it to one side. We're spending more on content links and hosting than physically getting paid from the client. So the return on investment is not good enough. Where the 647 paying clients, they're niches and industries that we know do well. And I think I don't know how many there's over 500 different industries that we're in as well. And the crazy part with the testing team is that every single niche has got different nuances for how to rank, where people just think there's one algorithm, it's just the same. You build content, you build links, and it's done, which to a certain degree is partially true. But what type of links, what velocity of links, how many articles and stuff are needed massively varies from one industry to the next.
So 647 sites out of 2,000 sites that you make, it's almost like a 35% success rate.
That's right, yeah. But saying that, it's probably higher than that, because the ones that fail, we do test out on, or we still make some sort of money with like display ads. That's right. Paying clients from a rank and rent model. So we can still generate leads on a back end, and we can still make money via Mediavine or Ezoic or AdThrive and stuff like that. So they're not that they're lost and they're not doing anything. There could even be, some could be PBNs, some could be whatever you want to try and build them out as. We don't really go down the model of doing the PBN route, but we mainly get them from you. But we can make money else in other ways, where it could be tenancy, it could be display ads, it could be just lead generation. It's 647 that are paying on rank and rent model.
Okay, I'll take the 35% back. It's probably higher. Yeah, so much SEO you talked, just us introducing this pod. And yeah, I just want to get into your story. What was the transition phase like 14 years ago? Proper OG, like... I see a lot of like 14, 15 years old, like SEOs I was connected with, and I talked to them, some of them, and they don't do SEO anymore. And I think you kind of survived all the kind of algorithms, and you've seen basically everything. So yeah, tell us your story.
Yeah, so 15 years ago, I'm in the industry of construction, doing a lot of project management, building anything from houses to like tennis courts and football pitches and playgrounds and stuff like that, mainly in schools, so like classrooms and stuff like that. And then we realized we needed more inquiries. So I went online to try and find someone that could maybe do lead generation. I knew that I needed a website. So I got a website built. Didn't have a clue what SEO was. Didn't even understand that there's an algorithm behind Google. And I just never really thought about how Google chooses who ranks number one. And then when it opened that up and it was like, there's a whole formula and an algorithm behind it. Well, I kind of geek out on formulas and Google Sheets and trying to like find out the puzzle of what it is. And I think that's another reason why I'm still in the industry. There's a few people that have been in the industry for a while and they've either lost and failed and moved on and gone to something else, or some of them have been very successful and retired. But retirement's not for me. I love, still to this day, I still geek out, and I always call it being in the trenches with some of the team. When a massive algorithm update comes, I want to try and uncover and find what's happened and how can we recover if any of our sites have been hit. And I think a lot of these updates, the most recent one, the helpful content update, there's so many good, in my opinion, good quality sites that have been hit, and we've been hit on a few, but then we've had loads that have jumped up as well. So we've got both sides of it where we can track what is it that's going on. But back to your initial question is, yeah, we moved into it, realized that I needed more inbound inquiries. So from there, then I built out the website, started to understand a little bit of SEO. Back then, I'm sure you remember, you just literally keyword in your title tag and hit it with some links, and you was ranking number one. So for many years, probably for 4 or 5 years, it was plain sailing. We was ranking number one and number two and number three for every single one of our keywords that we wanted to. Because also back then, this same website could rank for multiple keywords. It wasn't like one website, one page for one single keyword. So we dominated for many years. At that point, we'd made quite a bit of money and we started to reinvest it in building out a team. We're building out the right quality kind of processes and systems, which is very important. And I think the two biggest things that I did early on that now I kind of put a lot of my success down to is that we built an R&D testing team in-house that consistently breaks Google, pushes the boundaries, and checks to see what's working and what's not just listening to what others say, but physically testing the SERP. And then the next one is you've got 2 full-time people that literally just do all the training and try and make the training more concise. So if we've got a 16-minute video of how to build citations, can that be 14 minutes? Can that 27 points checklist be 24 points? And that sounds daft. And when I tell some people that, there's like, you employ 2 full-time people to do that. I'm like, if I can shave 5 minutes off that video, and that's going to be watched by hundreds of members of staff, that's a lot of time saved. So our systems and processes are very, very slick and concise, but deliver kind of processes and like the output to a very high level. And at that point, then you can onboard staff that some staff are almost just data inputters, like certain virtual assistants that we have. They're just following a process. And if they wanted to leave, somebody else can come in and just follow that same process. And that's what allows you to grow at a rate of knots, where you can have a lot of staff following the right processes. And as long as you've got the systems and processes correct, you can rank for almost any term that you want.
Yeah, I've been listening to all the words you've been sharing and stuff, like retirement's not for me, pushing the boundaries. I've been picking up on those, and I'm going to come to the wisdom James aspect of it like a bit later. But yeah, like I remember 2014, SEO was so easy in the UK, especially like it was like 3 PBN links to a plumbing London company, and it was like top 3. Now just like clients come and they're spending like 2,000 on like 200 PBN links, and they hardly get to like page 1. And there's some occasions, and there's so much stuff that's playing. And like you've seen all waves of SEO in the last 14 years. What would you say, like, that one factor that didn't make you like, oh, fuck SEO, fuck Google, I'm going to just, I hope swearing's okay, by the way.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna uh transition into a different industry. Like, what kept you going?
To be honest with you, because we was quite diverse in what we had, if ever we did have a kind of very early on, I understood this industry would be growth is never linear. So there's never like a straight line. Here's success and here's where you start, and it goes like that. I always knew there was going to be peaks and troughs. And to be honest with you, in all businesses, it's not just SEO. And some people are naive to understand this, that in all businesses, there's peaks and troughs. In interest rates, it goes up and down. In, let's say, crypto, it goes up and down. That's just part and parcel of life. So there's always going to be a peak of you doing really well and then a trough of you dropping down. Because it was quite diversified in what we did, sometimes if one went down, another site might have gone up anyway. So like overall, it was like always never drastic kind of changes. And just I think it's just having good mentality, just understanding that you've got to ride the storm, you've got to get through it. I normally talk about this same story where I've got two older brothers, and I used to play football with them both in the garden all the time, and they'd beat me because they was older than me. And they'd beat me and beat me and beat me. And I'd get back up and I'd go again. And then I'd try and play them at badminton. And because they was older than me and bigger than me and stronger than me, they'd beat me at badminton. And I remember like one time I was sat there, my dad had a right go at me because I was like crying on the floor because I couldn't beat him at any sport. I was getting annoyed. And he's like, get up. You don't sit down and cry about it. You get up and go again. And I feel that kind of mentality is still with me today. And I was only like 5-6 years old then. And when I got to like 13, 14, and I'd grown up a bit more, and they was like 16, I could beat them then because I was physically a bit stronger. They were still older and they were still stronger than me, but I started to win certain games. But I feel like that losing at a young age and getting back up and going again, I've got that kind of instilled into me now with business. So if something goes wrong, that's fine. You learn from it and you go again, and you pick things up along the way. And that bounce back ability of not letting it get to you if something does happen. It's just you've got to remember, right? If a site goes down, well, what's happened? Somebody else's site has gone up. So for me, I kind of now embrace it to go, well, what they've done better than what we've done. And then you've got to reverse engineer what's happened and then just implement it. And it might take 6 months to recover, and that's fine. And that's it. That's what it is from how Google's playing field is at the moment. But you just got to keep trying to go and understand what works in today's algorithms. So I think back then I feel like I've got instilled into me to never give up and just keep going, keep riding the storm. And at some point you'll get to where you want to be, but it'll be like this. So
I mean, it's funny you mentioned badminton. I used to play badminton professionally.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was like 11 or 12 years old, and there was a district competition in my local city. And I went for the quarterfinals, and I thought I was going to make it to the final. You know, I had some expectation.
Yeah.
And I lost by like 2 points or something. And I come back home, and all my family and relatives, they're like, so did you make it to the semifinals? And I was like, not really. And then something clicked in me, and it was like, there's too much competition. These Indian sports, like districts to national, and if I have to climb that ladder, it'll require a lot of hard work and dedication. And am I willing or dedicated enough to go for this ladder, or just quit it now and do something, you know, with my laptop? And that's how I got into SEO and websites and stuff. And
right, okay.
yeah, and for me, like, it's a different story because it's for me, my dad was like, yeah, son, do whatever you want. You know, if you want to quit and pursue something else, go for it. And that made me like, instilled in me like, okay, being a good quitter is also kind of very nice. And I think you can apply in SEO as well. Like some business partnerships don't work out in some sites and some joint ventures. And you need to know like where you stand, and like one of the quotes he said, like, don't compare like sheep to a shepherd or something, and fish to a bird or something. And what are your thoughts on like just giving up and not giving up, or just going for it when to make that?
You've got to pick and choose your battles. So I kind of normally revert it back to having a game of poker, and you've got to know when to hold and know when to fold. And it's very, very important to know that. Like, so let's say as a badminton player, when you got beat in them quarterfinals, you might have known, I'm not going to make this to the top, and this is not what I want to do, and it doesn't fulfill my happiness. So therefore, I'm going to leave, and I'm going to, you said quit, but it's more like it's just the right decision to do, and you're leaving to pursue something else. Yes, business partners at times, some things don't work. Yes, there's certain kind of niches that you might enter might not work. Yes, there's certain kind of careers that you might start to take. I mean, how many people from being 10, 12, 14 years old say they're going to be a pilot, they're going to be a doctor, they're going to be a nurse, whatever they're going to be, and they don't end up being. So many people don't end up becoming what they think they're going to be. But it's just about pursuing your own happiness. And if your own happiness means to leave something behind, or leave, in your instance, badminton, yes, absolutely, that's absolutely fine as well. It's not, I mean, like when my dad brought me up, it wouldn't be like, you have to do this. Like, if I didn't win at football, I'd move to badminton. If I didn't win at that, I'd move to whatever else I could play, tennis or table tennis or whatever it was. So in a way, deep down, in a little bit of a way, I was kind of, not want to say quitting, but I'm trying to find an edge somewhere. And then when you find something that you're happy with or you're good at that point, you double down.
Awesome. I'm going to be honest with you. There are times when I introduce myself to people and they're like, what do you do, mate? And most of the times I'm like, I do nothing, I'm semi-retired, whatever, because I feel like there's a importance in just being low-key sometimes. And there are times when I'm like, I just own a digital real estate. And I think I took it from you when we met in Dubai. And can you explain the concept of digital real estate and how it ties into SEO?
Yeah, so I always got brought up, and I don't know how others did, but I always got brought up that you work hard, you save up enough money, and then you buy a house. If you're lucky enough, you might be able to buy a second house or a third house and rent it out. And obviously that's building up your real estate portfolio. But the truth of the matter is, every time I looked at the numbers for real estate, you was only making around 6 or 7%, maybe 8% yield. So that's 8% per year on the money that you'd put in. Where on websites, what I started to realize was, with regards to lead generation or affiliate or display ads or whichever way you want to monetize your websites, if I put £100,000 into a website, I'd make way more than £8,000 a year, way more, which means that I'm getting a higher return on investment by doing the websites than I would by doing the real estate. So what we started to do is, majority of the time nowadays, we probably make about 100% yield in year one. Maybe not in year one, but within 18 months, we would have got our money back. But then after that, we're making 100% per year in ROI. So if we spent 100,000, we'll probably make £100,000 a year. If we've only spent £20,000 on a website, we might make £2,000 a month, which is £24,000 a year. So it's building up this online portfolio of websites. But then I was thinking to myself, when we do the rank and rent model, it was someone that just said to me, like probably 7 years ago, so you just build online assets and rent them out? I said, yeah. He went, so you're like a landlord, but for digital assets? And I was like, yeah, that's the way of putting it. Yeah. So then he says, whenever someone asks you, what do you do? Why don't you just say you're a digital landlord? I said, well, I've never really heard that saying before, but yeah, that's probably the best way of explaining it. I'm a digital landlord, and I own a lot of digital real estate in websites, which could be affiliate sites, like I said, display ads, lead generation sites, and I rent them out, or I'm earning money from them in some way, shape, or form, just like the people that the Grant Cardone of the world who say buy property and rent out. It's that way, but just doing it with digital assets.
I mean, the returns you mentioned, like, it's quite amazing what you do for the websites you invest in, and especially your team. Seems like a highly skilled operational level stuff. But for the people who are listening and they're like, James, like, I might just buy a house and it's safe. It's just, it's there. Like, nobody's going to take it. But you never know with the internet. Government might come with the restrictions, this and that, or SEO or AI, and I can just like lose all the money. What would your argument be for those people?
So it's a great question to ask that, to be fair, because in the UK for pension pots, people do a lot of pension pots invest in a lot of different things. So it could be stocks, shares, property, and then the high risk was websites and cryptocurrency, right? But for many years, I've been trying to explain that websites is not high risk. It should be in the medium risk category. And for that, and the reason why I say that is because it's an algorithm and it's a formula. And if you not understand what's in that formula and in that algorithm, you can always fix any problems that you might have. So something that I've been heavily investing in is anything that goes wrong on one of my websites, I try to exactly examine why. And then it might mean that I get somebody in to help me out on the site to fix the problem. So I'll give you a few problems that I've had over the years, and then this will explain, okay, when I hit and encounter a problem, then if you understand how to reverse that and recover from that, well, then it's not really high risk if you know how to get yourself out of the situation. So we've had link penalties previously, Google Search Console link penalties. So what did I go and do? We got hit with a few sites, a manual action link penalty. We got Rick Lomas in, who's like the godfather of disavows. And he trained us up exactly of everything that I needed to do. And then I invested in Rick. I've now built out a brand now that does all Rick's disavows, which I part own with Rick Lomas. And we do a lot of disavows, and we do a lot of recovering from websites from manual action link penalties, which still happens on a week-by-week basis, but people don't realize. There's still hundreds and hundreds of sites per year being hit with manual action link penalties in Google Search Console that we're recovering for them. So having that level of expertise of knowing how to get yourself out of a link penalty, then you've got author transparency penalties, which I never even knew existed. So I wasn't a massive advocate of EEAT. I just thought it was an SEO myth of people trying to sell a service, until I got hit manual action penalty in Google Search Console for author transparency. Didn't even have a clue what it meant, what it was. Started to dig a bit deeper. Now start to realize actually EEAT is a thing. It is a caveat to that. It is only a thing in certain industries. So Your Money, Your Life, finance especially, and Google News are the main ones where I'm seeing stuff get hit for author transparency penalties. But it's quite easy to fix and remedy for that problem. So how can someone say that something's high risk when for over a decade now, I've had assets earning me money on a month-by-month basis? Yes, someone could say, yeah, but properties in time, it's there, it's a physical asset. You're always going to get a return on investment because you're always going to be able to rent it out, and normally house prices go up. Well, house prices don't go up at the rate of knots as what an age domain goes up. Age is a massive trust signal in Google. So your value of your asset year on year is going up. So I would throw back to you to saying, is it risky? You could say that about anything. Like Google's not going to close down. The government aren't going to close down the internet tomorrow. And if they did, there's other countries that won't close it down. So you're always going to be able to make money from, if you're a highly skilled SEO, you're always going to be able to make money anywhere in the world. So it's probably more high risk for the government coming saying, we're going to knock your house down to build a road through your house or something like that. No, you get paid for it, but what I'm trying to say to you is if it comes a problem where like in the UK, in the casino market, taxes are going up and up and up and up. So is that a market I would try to persuade someone to enter? No. Is it a declining market? Yes. It's still a lot of money you can have made, but in the UK, casinos not that good because taxes are going higher and higher and higher, and compliance is getting harder. So for that reason, I probably wouldn't kind of double down on that, what I would do in other areas. People are always going to need a plumber, an electrician, a roofer. Roofs are always in 20, 30 years going to get kind of damaged. And what you're going to do, allow water to come into your house? No, you're going to get it repaired. If you get locked out your house, you're going to ring up a locksmith. They're always going to need, there's always going to be that demand. And people go, well, what about AI? Well, AI is not a locksmith that's going to come and get you in the door. Yes, it can rank websites for you and help you with content, but it's not you. The AI is not going to find you a locksmith to come out and do it. It's not going to find you a roofing company to come and fix your roof. It's not going to find you a plumber to come and install a new shower room. So you basically you've got to be kind of diversify where you're going to make your money from. But the internet's always going to be here. SEO is always going to be massively lucrative. You just got to find where things might be dropping, and like you said, diversify. Like you said, you quit from doing badminton because it wasn't for you. Maybe probably the biggest industry that I think is going to get hit within SEO is display ads. A lot of people run display ads on the site, and they're ranking for a lot of informational based type terms that get a lot of traffic. But that traffic's going to slow down with AI because SGE is going to come in and answer the query without them clicking through to your website. So I do worry for certain people that just build sites out in just solely monetary purposes, display ads, which we've got some of those sites. So I'm trying to diversify them a little bit more to say, all right, how can these make money in other ways? Because Ezoic, AdThrive, Mediavine, Google AdSense, my traffic might start dropping when they do show AI. But I think as an industry, it's always going to be evolving, and I think there's always going to be billions and billions to be made every single year within this industry.
I mean, that's a great perspective. But for the Google AdSense and the display ads, I think, what if somebody says like, okay, Google owns most of the AI technology and they're kind of like hidden investors. Do you think there's still a possibility for them to be at like kind of on the edge with AdSense, the whole model with display ads?
Sorry, explain again. If what?
So if Google has a model of Google AdSense and makes them money like for advertisers and publishers, and they've got ties with the AI, you know, like the whole hierarchy. Why would you say like the display ads would be kind of like the pinnacle on the boat where it could be leveraged over other contextual ads, you know, like in affiliate sites and stuff? Because someone would say like, okay, Google AdSense, like Google's already like on the top of the hierarchy. Why would they just like not let display ads flourish with time?
I think because I think they'll make more money off PPC than display ads. If you think about this idea, and I'm not sat in Google headquarters, but if I was sat in Google headquarters with some of the most intelligent people in the world, they make a little bit of money per impression on Google AdSense, right? They make a lot per click on pay-per-click. So if they could, when someone does a search, give them the answer as quickly as possible if it's a top of the funnel type term. So if it's like how to remove red wine out of carpet, right? But no one's bidding on that term for pay-per-click, right? If they could answer that, but then quickly show them with SGE 5 other questions that you might have. And one of them other questions is like, check out the best carpet cleaners. And then there's loads of affiliates that are bidding on that, or find a specialist carpet cleaning company. And when they clicked onto that, again, loads of people are wanting to bid on that. You're getting them from a top of the funnel search term very quickly more to a bottom of the funnel where people are willing to pay per click. So what Google are doing, which I think is very clever with SGE, and people are being annoyed with the whole scenario of SGE, I feel they're getting the user journey from the top of the funnel to the bottom of the funnel, and they make more money at the bottom of the funnel because a lot more people are willing to pay for the PPC, and a lot of people don't pay for PPC at the top of the funnel, if that makes sense.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah. Coming to the rank and rent rise and fall, like in 2020, 2021, like it was all hyped and, you know, people like rank and rent and this and that. And I saw a lot of those players kind of like failing over time. What do you think, like, those SEOs couldn't have that factor or that thing that didn't make them like succeed as much as you, like in rank and rent model?
So there's two words in there, the rank and the rent. Yeah, the renting's really, really easy if you can rank. 99.9% of the industry in the SEO industry can't rank. They all talk a good game, but they can't rank. So there's still people out there that preach, write good quality content and links will come naturally, and they don't do any backlinks. And you're just like, well, all that you're doing on the rank and rent model is just trying to rent a site that generates no leads, and they're going to get no return on investment. And you go, a rank and rent model doesn't work. No, you just don't know how to rank. That's the truth of it. That's the hooks and crooks of it. So anyone that failed in rank and rent is generally because they can't rank. If you've got a website that's ranking and you're generating good quality and ranking for the right keywords and you're generating good quality leads, how can you not make money off it? Because would a plumber pay you for a perfect lead of what they want to do, where they can make good money on it? Of course they would. Would a joiner pay for you for good quality leads? Of course they would. Would a carpet cleaner, if you got an inquiry from the Marriott Hotel that needs 500 carpets for different rooms being cleaned, and that's what they do, would they want that lead? Of course they would. So it's not the rank and rent model. It's that people just don't know how to rank. And that's what it comes down to. Two people aren't willing to go and do a $29 course online and think they're an SEO expert, and they're not. And you know that, Saket, as well. Like deep down, you know how many people come to you or argue with you that links don't work, or, oh, I don't want to buy your links, they're a bit black hat and stuff like that. Well, that's fine, but you're not going to rank. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like they go, well, I can rank, and they show you something they're ranking for, and the traffic's going up and up on the site, but they're like ridiculously long tail keywords that they're not monetary keywords. And some people can rank top of the funnel stuff and show you all these ranking, like the ranking jumps and the traffic jumps, and it's like, that's fine, but how much money does that site make? And you're like, oh, I'm making £150 a month, and they're getting 1 million clicks, and you're like, come on, like, stop chasing traffic and try and start chasing ROI. And that's what a lot of people don't do in the industry. So it's not the model doesn't work, it's just they're missing an important ingredient, which is ranking the website for the right quality keywords.
Yeah, it makes sense. I had a few people come to me and they were like, I'm a white hat and you're a black hat. And I had to like get into an explanation like, why? You're not a white hat and I'm not a black hat and we are gray hat. Like, what are your thoughts on those people who kind of classify like, oh, this is white and this is black? Like, how do you see these SEOs and what's your perspective?
I think it's ridiculous. I think it's absolutely ridiculous, if I'm being honest. Like, anyone that does anything to try to rank higher in Google, according to Google guidelines, is a black hat. Like, is like against their Google guidelines. So at that point, any SEO that writes content that tries to rank higher in Google, right, is going against their guidelines, pretty much, right? Anyone obviously acquiring links against Google guidelines. So what do? Do you sit there and follow Google guidelines but never rank a website in your life, right? And you struggle to rank and then you moan all day? Or do you make a living, put money on the table that feeds your kids, feeds your wife, feeds your family, has good experiences, and you can go traveling and do nice things? You tell me what you're trying to do. Sit there going, I'm following Google guidelines and not making any money. or you don't follow Google guidelines and you make a load of money and you have a happy life, happy wife, happy kids, happy experiences, well, you choose whatever hat you want if you want to call it a hat. It's just what SEOs have kind of determined. Oh, you're a black hat, you're white hat, and then some people in between go, "Oh, I'm a bit of a grey hat." Like, I'm a return on investment hat. That's, if you want to call a hat, that's what
I love that.
put money in and I want money out, and that's what hat I wear.
I love that. Maybe in the next cap, in the next podcast, we're gonna like
Yeah.
get the ROI cap.
I might have one here somewhere. So whether you're black hat or white hat, like, it's just like, I don't like people kind of branding themselves and being part of a cult that all wear the white hat.
Do you think it's because like we're conditioned as human beings to just conform and just obey, and that kind of comes from the, you know, white collar jobs people? They're like, fuck, I don't want a boss, and they come into SEO and they're like, I'm gonna make my own living, but I still need to conform, you know, like that subconscious belief. Do you think that factor's playing? What's playing with this white hat, you know?
Yeah, I mean, some people I've spoke to previously think it's illegal. Like, literally think it's like illegal. It's like, no, there's nothing illegal about it. Right? You can follow, like, there's certain things where people put certain guidelines in place about in the UK about taxes and stuff like that. Where if you've got like people, like you've got like the rule, let's say the rules are here, you want to be as close to the rules as you can. You want to be legal with everything that you do, but you want to make certain that you've got a good kind of tax accountant that can try to make certain that you're paying the least amount of tax legally as possible. But like, you've got to, it's a difficult one. You've got to follow you've got to follow guidelines legally, but then this is just guidelines for them to say, we don't think you should be buying links and stuff like that. Now, don't get me wrong, we do a hell of a lot of writing great quality content. We do a lot of data studies. We do a lot of surveys. We naturally try to get links to those pages. We do a lot of infographics. We create a lot of unique videos. We are trying to get natural backlinks. And to be fair, in the last 18 months, a lot more people are willing to link out because they see it as being, it's good for their site and citing the source and all the rest of it. So you can get some natural backlinks, but you just need to do, in my opinion, you just need to do what works. And that is writing good quality content. I agree. Tick. Having a website built technically well, so it loads fast, that it's nice for conversions, so like CRO is good, that they can internal link to other pages and stuff like that, good, that it's got the EEAT signals, so it's got like an author behind the site, it's got a company, telephone number, an email address. You then write multiple articles about the topic, so you're building up topical authority, and then you get in niche, relevant, powerful backlinks. So that's the holy grail of SEO in a nutshell. There's obviously nuances to it, but that's generally what you need to be doing, those 4 pillars.
So you'd say these are like the top ranking factors at the moment in SEO?
Yeah. I think they always have been, to be fair, mate. I think you can break down, I could sit there all day and break down what good quality content means. I could sit there all day about topical authority, but people have gone too broad now on topical authority, and they're creating pages that are getting 0 search volume and they're just not worth having. So like James Dooley sells pink fluffy toys. Right, okay, that's built out my topical authority, and no one searches that. So like, there's certain pages you shouldn't be building that people are building that's just wasting their information retrieval costs, and Google don't like it. There's links, like, you know that there's good links and there's bad backlinks. So you can't say buy links or get links, because you can over-optimize anchor text. You can buy toxic links. You can buy non-trusted or non-powerful links. Do you know what I mean? One of your PBN homepage links has got 100 times more power than someone doing a blog comment. But that's still a backlink and a backlink, but it doesn't mean they've got the same power. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. So there's differences on within each nuance of what works the best and what doesn't.
I mean, what's your backlink strategy? What's your favorite backlink strategy? We're talking about links now, so
So on links, it depends. So if let's say I look at a local website, we go and build out the content initially, make certain we're covering again all the EAT signals, having an address on there, telephone number and stuff like that on there. And then once all that's done, we go and try and buy maybe 100 to 200 citations. So they are, generally speaking, they are naked URLs, no follow, just business directory type links. So do they pass any power? No. But what it's doing is it's diversifying your anchor text right from the very start. You've got a load of naked URL links and you've got loads of no follow backlinks, right? Then what we'll probably then try to do after that would be kind of do a bit of a launch. Oh, this company's gone live with a press release. So a press release will probably get you 300 because it's a syndicated kind of press release. We'll get you probably 300 backlinks. Again, majority of them, maybe 260, 270 of those are no follow. We'll only do either naked URLs or branded anchors. So whatever the name of the business is, kind of goes back to the site. So now I've started off and I've got my foundational links and my pillow links in place where I've got loads of branded naked URLs and no follow backlinks, right? Well, that's great. Is that going to rank your site? No. But it's needed to start with, right? After that, then, if you're buying, let's say, from yourself with regards to PBNs, that does good quality PBNs, you can then start to get away with obviously having a do follow backlink, which I don't think any one of your clients is ever going to say can have a no follow backlink. They're all going to say I won't do follow, but you get a do follow backlink, and then you can start doing like money terms to the website. Now, what you might do is I would still probably do it to the homepage initially. I just hit the power to the homepage with like different branded anchors. So I might put keyword with brand and stuff like that. So I'm still being really clean with my anchor text and stuff like that. But now I'm starting to get some page rank.
And what's the time frame? Month 1, month 2?
All this is pretty quickly, to be fair. So like if you think of it, when a business first starts out, people are scared and going, oh, you need the link velocity. I agree, you need content velocity and link velocity. But when you first start a business, a natural business goes all out in the first few months. And a real business, not an SEO, a real business tries to get himself shared everywhere. So the citations and stuff, it's just natural. So you might only get like maybe like say 5 PBN links or something like that. Then you can then start getting some guest posts, like which are really, really, really relevant. Kind of what you're trying to rank for on your money site, that's what you're kind of writing for on the guest post. So you're linking up the relevance. Again, on those you can then start to get exact match anchors because you've got a page here that you're trying to rank on the guest post for a keyword, but then in that you've got the keyword then going, oh no, here's a better resource for it. So they work well. And then you've got like niche edits or link insertions, which work pretty well. The relevance isn't as good, but normally it's on an existing page that's got some sort of power. And all these do follow backlinks then. So as long as we try not to do exact match, like to try to repeat an anchor. We always try and do different anchors all the time, do different variations. And then at that point, then it's trickling whatever else is needed. If the rest of your competition have got a lot more homepage links, you might need some more homepage links. If they've got a lot more relevance in their backlink profile, you might need some more guest posts. If you're needing some more inner page powerful links, you might need some niche edits. You could 6 months down the line, if you've got like a GMV set up and a YouTube video and an image, do another press release, but then making certain that you embedded your video, putting the image on there, putting your obviously your NAT listing and all that on the press release, and kind of do that again, just to kind of get an influx of new RDs again, and building obviously new content, covering the topic in its entirety. So if you're missing an article that your competition have got, write it bigger and better than. Don't have to be bigger actually, just better than theirs. Sometimes it's better not writing it bigger. Just write it more concise, but with more entities on the page. That's my best. An article should be as short as possible, but as long as necessary. Now, that is a quote that people should use, because people will think, if my competition's got 1,500 words, I need to have 1,800 words. No, if you can say it in 1,200 words, but get all the entities on the page that's needed to rank. That's better. Like, too many people are like, oh, these now wrote 1,500, 1,800. Mine has to be 2,000. You're just writing fluff. You're repeating yourself. You're writing fluff. Make it concise. Give the readers what they want in the least amount of words as possible, but then cover all the different topics, might be like certain questions that people might have. And that's how you expand on your content. But try and be as concise as you can with what you do. But that's some content anyway. But for the links, it's mainly those. I don't really think there's much more. Oh, sometimes you do some digital PR. But I mean, they are a nightmare, digital PR companies. Like, you can spend £10,000 on a digital PR campaign and you go back to them 2 months later and say, right, okay, what backlinks have you got? And you're going, yeah, I've got you one and it's a no follow. Or I've got you one and it's an unlinked mention. I'm like, we spent £10,000 on that. And it's like, yeah, well, we did this campaign for you. And we're like, right, okay. So sometimes it's hard. You need big budgets if you're going to start getting in the realms of digital PR.
Okay, James, like, beautiful strategy. I follow it. Citations, no follow, then do follow, PBNs, niche edits, guest posts. I rank my site top 3. Now, what is there any sustainability, like any links, or I'm going to just stay there forever? If somebody's wondering.
No, so obviously I'm not happy being top 3. I want to be number 1.
Yeah.
why be your second place, your first loser? Like, why go and lose 50%? So like, if number 1 result gets 40% of the clicks, it varies from niche to niche as well. But let's say it gets 40% of the clicks. Number 2 only gets 20%. So you're happy being 50% down on the amount of clicks that you can have? No, you go until you're number 1, and you fight until you're number 1. So for that reason, if I'm let's say you're saying top 3, so let's say I'm position number 3, guess what I need? More links and more content. I might not need more, it might not be more content. As long as I've covered the topic in its entirety, and I'm really happy that I've covered every subtopic I need to on that kind of niche, each one of these pages might need links. Every single one of them might need links, especially all the supporting documents, which have internal linking to my main page, might need links. And at that point, if you're still not ranking number 1, you're buying the wrong type of links. Because generally speaking, if you buy some decent, powerful, do follow, relevant links, you'll rank. Like, there's no ifs or buts. You will rank.
Okay, I ranked number 1.
Yeah.
How do I stay number 1?
Exactly the same way. So you're building content velocity and link velocity. You might need way less. Like, I know some people stop when they're at number 1, and I don't think you should stop. You can slow down how much link velocity. So if I'm ranking number 3, I might do 1 new article a week. So that's 4 a month, and 1 new backlink. Every article that I do, I normally do a backlink with it. So my article velocity and my content, my link velocity is both going up. If I'm number 1, I might only do 1 a fortnight or even 1 a month, because I might not have that many new topics to talk about. So if I come across a new product or a new service, I'll write about it, I'll do a backlink. I'll write about it, do a backlink. If I start dropping down, I'm like, whoa, my competition are overtaking me, then I'll start stepping it back up. And it's generally to do with more content velocity and link velocity.
And do you have any percentages for this link velocity to stick to number 1? Like, in your...
Do you have any what, sorry?
Any, like, okay, 20% link velocity or 20% less links? Like, do you have that formula with you? Like,
it completely varies from niche to niche, because majority of the time, once I've got to number 1 in some of these, especially in local industries, right, you're going to remain number 1 even if I don't do any new articles or any new backlinks, because your number 2 and number 3 result aren't doing much in SEO anyway. They're not doing that much. So you're probably going to stay there without doing anything. But if you're in casino and you're ranking number 1 for best casino sites, if that one who's ranking number 1 at the moment drops to number 2, guess what they're going to start doing more of? Content and links. So guess what you need to do to maintain that position? Content and links.
Yeah.
And then in those industries, it is literally a fight every single week against other good SEOs. But in those industries, you can be making £100,000 on 1 page a month. So if someone turns around to me and says, I can maintain number 1 rankings and it's going to cost you 10 grand a month, well, you tell me how many articles you can have written and how many links you can have written for £10,000 a month. You can get a lot done. So you've got the budget to be able to spend on the, let's say, the casino market terms. In local, you might not even need to do any. You might need to do one every 6 months, and it might be fine. And if you start to drop, you can do a bit more. But like I said, casino, you might still need to be doing 10 a week.
So you're always kind of competing in SEO.
Always, yeah. You've got to, there's no point in doing what you, because if I'm ranking for a local plumbing website, I'm ranking #1, and I follow the same strategy that as my casino, I'm doing 10 new articles a week and 10 new backlinks a week. To be fair, mate, it's probably 10 new articles a day and 10 new backlinks a day in the casino market. If I go and do that in the local plumber's website, what's the point? I'm already #1 for my term. Yeah. I can't get higher than Google search. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm already the #1 result. Like, you've just got, again, it comes back down to return on investment. If I go and buy 10 new articles and 10 new backlinks, what extra am I going to get? Nothing. Well, what's the point in doing it? Like, you've just got to try to do just about enough to maintain to be #1. And if someone does overtake you, then obviously start stepping it back up. But casinos are much different beast to local SEO.
For sure. I think casino, cannabis niche, payday loans, like, yeah, these are the hardest. Yeah. One of my clients just came in for CBD oil for top 100 just a few days ago. So right, I was like, so I'm gonna do something with it. But yeah, coming back to Google updates. Yeah. So how do you handle Google updates? Because there's a lot of times when a client comes to me and he's like, Google update, and my site's on page 8. It was on page 1, and it's because of your links. And I'm like, bro, just wait for 3 days, and 4th day the ranking comes back. Like, how do you kind of define, like, oh, it's a Google dance, oh, this is a ranking drop, and this is where I need to take necessary steps? How do you kind of navigate?
You've got to do a lot of networking in the industry, because every update could be different. So, like, the most recent update, start of September, that was all to do with, and all my tests say everything on that was to do with the content. Obviously, it was called the helpful content update, but sometimes what they normally do is they'll roll out 2 or 3 changes. They'll dial up 2 or 3 different things at the same time. But on this, all of my data is showing that it's content related, all of it, which is very unusual, because, like I said, normally they'll say it's link based, but they'll change something on content as well, or they say it's content based and there'll be some dial changed on. They might have more emphasis on relevance of links or more emphasis of power of links. But on this one, it's mainly come down to the quality of the content. How many pages do you have that aren't ranking in Google? So how much are you wasting of their crawl, when they're coming to crawl, index, and score your site? How many pages do you have that are crap? And if you've got lots of pages that are crap, Google's going to put you a site-wide penalty. Even though you might have 2 or 3 really good pages, you've got 200 pages over here that aren't good. And we've got to crawl all these pages all the time. I'm not going to return to your website very much until you sort this out, because you're wasting our crawl budget. So content pruning has become massive. So many sites, there's thousands of sites been hit from like 1 million clicks a month down to like 30, 40,000 clicks a month. They've lost literally some of them lost 90% of the traffic. And that was content based. But then obviously there is, at certain times of the year, these link-based spam updates, which could be to do with them trying to combat PBNs. It could be them trying to combat link farms. So there's so many guest post sites out there at present. What are PBNs? It's unbelievable. And the part of bad link neighborhoods where Google is seeing that people are they're linking to casino, CBD, they're linking to all these different places. There is a toxicity threshold of what each site has. One thing that I never used to believe in, again, was disavows. But then when we got hit and we started to understand, I used to just chase DR and traffic and never really look at trust and toxicity. But trust and toxicity is a massive component of understanding what a good link and a bad link is. So when we start looking at that now, we start to understand, right, okay, in this industry, in the casino market, prime example, our toxicity threshold might be way higher than in the local plumbers market. We can build way more links without it becoming a problem. But Google just changes the dials of what toxicity threshold they can have, what kind of how much emphasis they put on relevance, how much do they put on the content, and it's just overall you've got to try and do as many things right as you can. Tick as many boxes as you can. So like you said, like this is why I was trying to make certain I get the no follow naked URL kind of diversified backlink profile, because if they do start saying if your percentage of do follow to no follow backlinks is above 60%, we're going to penalize you. Well, I'm hoping that mine's that diversified that I won't get penalized. If more than 10% of your anchor text is X, Y, and Z, we're going to penalize you. Well, I'm hoping that mine's quite diversified, that that's not going to happen. So you're trying to preempt what Google might be trying to do, and just have safety nets in place to say, okay, we're going to try and get through it. But no one ever knows truthfully what the next algorithm update is going to be. You've just got to try and find out what it is, reverse engineer it, follow good people in the industry to see what their thoughts are on it. You try and look at who won in your industry that's gone up, see what they've done that you've not, and then try to implement certain things going, okay, they're better than me at X, Y, and Z. Well, I need to improve on this then.
And after you take necessary or plan to take some necessary steps after the Google update, like what's the time frame where you decide, okay, the testing teams can come in and see what's working the best now? Like what's a...
To be honest with you, Saket, right, if you go and fix and you try and fix everything, it might take 4 or 5 months before Google rescore your website. So you might have done something for 4 months that's really, really helping your website, but you won't know. And some people then give up, because what they'll do is they've been here. Some people tell them it's this, this, and this. They'll go and implement everything of what they've been told to do, which might be the right kind of format of what they need to work on. And then they give up. And if they would have carried on doing what they was doing, it could be 6 months. There's times where this helpful content update, the previous one was like 9 months prior, and now they've rerun it. So like it could be a while, but some stuff's pretty instant. So it's weird, because there's times where like disavows normally take around 8 to 10 weeks before you start seeing a surge back. I don't know if they need to recrawl everything and do everything on that front, but that normally takes around 8 to 10 weeks. But the content side of things and cleaning that up and deleting the content, yeah, it could take, sometimes it could be 4, 5, 6 months. Too many people, like you said before, too many people jump on the bandwagon, and it could just be, might not even be an update. It could be the random ranking factor that there is. So people drop off, and it could be a cannibalization issue internally on the website. It could be a lot of different things. And people just go, and they put blame on one thing. And you look at a site and you go, mate, I could name 20 things that you're doing wrong. But they just go and say, Saket, it's your PBNs. Do you know what I mean? Or, it's your guest post that you're buying. Oh, it's this. Yeah. It's just like, it's normally a collection of several things that you're doing wrong that normally gets you hit hard.
I mean, it's crazy the amount of blame you get for just doing SEO and just being a link seller full time.
Yeah.
But it also has a lot of good effects, like on your anti-fragility and mindfulness aspect. And then you realize like, there's a way of communicating to the clients as well. And kind of, not everybody's going to receive the same, but you kind of understand the game a bit better. James, what do you think like a lot of SEOs are doing today that's kind of irrelevant and they're wasting their energy?
Good question. What they're doing irrelevant. I normally only speak to, and it sounds quite harsh, but I normally only speak to high level people that are doing well. So normally a lot of them that are doing things well, they're obviously going to double down on. Some people are still obsessed with on the content. A lot of people are still to this day writing correlated content. right? So whoever's ranking number one, they're copying their content. They're not doing any information gain. They're not bringing anything new to the table that Google now knows, oh, bloody hell, this site's good. It's just copying it. Now, if you think about that mindset and mentality, if you just did correlated content, Google's got a massive problem, because if the number one result, if I went and clicked on number one result and I wasn't happy, and I press back and I go back to Google and I click on the number two result, and the number two result's correlated to the number one result, which means that it's copied that kind of content. Well, I wasn't happy with the number one result, so I'm now not going to be happy with the number two result, or the number three result, or the number four result, or the number five result. So Google now started to combat, and they have been doing for a while, people that just do correlated content. And they want to try to start making certain that the content is unique, which people are doing, so that it's passing copyscape and stuff like that. But also what they're bringing to the table that's additional, that they didn't know previously, and it's called information gain, where some people are just doing copycat content and thinking that it's good enough. Well, it's ranking for them, and not really looking at, well, they've got a lot more topical authority and a much higher backlink profile than you. So if you want to outrank them, you need to go way above and beyond getting more entities on the page than not. I think a lot of people, it's not what they're doing that's wrong. I think it's what they're not doing, if I'm being honest with you. So a lot of people I don't know why this is dividing the industry. One, obsessed with, it seems to be like this side over here are obsessed by links, right? And they feel like, if no matter how good, this is no disrespect to you, but no matter how good your links are, right? If you build links to a page that's got bad content on there, it won't rank, right? You need content that meets the intent of the search and good quality links. But a load of link people are just obsessed by, you need more links, you need more links, you need more links, you need more links. And you're like, no, you need to improve the content as well as doing more links. And then over this side, everyone who's obsessed with content, links don't work, links don't work, links don't work. And it's like, so it's just so, it's only really the ones who are, and I would say relatively advanced, that go, that and that work well together. Stop saying it's that or that. So I think it's not what they're doing wrong. It's just what people are missing within the strategy that they're not doing enough of. The reason why a lot of these people are failing.
It's just like bridging the gap between the two extremities.
Exactly, yeah.
Do you think SEOs kind of struggle with entitlement? Like sometimes, like you meet people, they're like too much into content, or sometimes you meet SEOs and they're too much into links. Do you think it's just like an ego thing if they change sides and they're like, no, I don't want to be there, I'm not that SEO, like what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, not many people change the religion or the cult. Do you know what I mean? Or like, if I support Man United, I'm not now going to start changing the sport in Liverpool because Liverpool are doing better, or Man City because they're doing better. So certain people that follow a process kind of stick to it. And the point is that you should never have a cult, and you should never have a set process in SEO. It's never it's always changing. It's ever evolving. And you need to have the mindset that every single day is a school day, and you've got to be learning every single day. Now, if I need to change my hat for my return on investment, well, I won't ever need to change it, because if I'm return on investment hat, I just change my strategy for what is working. If that means I need to put more emphasis on more content, that's what I'll do. If it means more links, that's what I'll do. If it means more entities on a single page, that's what I'll do. If it means more internal links, that's what I'll do. If it means more images on a page, that's what I'll do. If it means more videos on a page, that's what I'll do. I will find out what's needed, because it's an algorithm, which then means it's a formula, which then means you can reverse engineer it. And what's needed, that's what I will do, is getting the best bang for my buck and the best return on investment.
Makes sense. I'd say, like, for me, what I've observed is just like, if I meet the link people or the content people or the PR people, it's just that safety aspect. Like, I feel safe here. If you take me there, I won't feel safe anymore. And it's all to do with kind of letting go in the mentality. And talking to you, I can see like you have a good mentality of letting go, and you understand the nature of life and people come and go. Like, what are your thoughts on the audience, for the audience to kind of develop this mindset, like the stoic, you know, like SEO mindset?
In this industry, it's needed more than ever. You need to learn to let go. You need to learn to like accept defeat at times. If something you've done previously worked, it might no longer work now. Stop being so stubborn in thinking that you always think you know best. You don't. You need to every single day be learning, and you need to embrace exactly the mindset that you're talking about. You've always, ever since I've met you, you've always had this kind of chilled and more environment of being like, it's fine, we will sort it and it will work. And it's a great mindset and mentality to have. I think people need to, it's difficult because we're all brought up in different upbringings, in different parts of the world, in different cultures. So people need to adapt and learn and train their own mindset to kind of let go and be a better person within himself. But some people might find that difficult. It's mainly because the lack of education of that they can't do it. But if they can do, then, and they're willing to learn and they're willing to let go at situations, then there'll be a much, much better SEO long term and a much better individual and human being, just in general, in all walks of life.
Yeah, you have to lose your current tribe to get to a better tribe, you know. So I think that kind of bridges the gap. But coming to Parasite SEO, yeah, a lot of top industry players kind of promoting it freely and saying that this could be here and we should take as much advantage as we can. And what do you see the future of Parasite SEO? Is it going to persist, or?
I think it'll always be here. People have spoke about Parasite SEO, but they've forgetting that it's been here for over a decade. It's not. This isn't new. It's just that people are now only just catching on to it. We've done Parasite SEO for over 10 years. And do you remember when I said before, when I said about guest posts? And if you're buying a guest post, you're trying to get it to rank for a keyword, for the keyword that your money site wants to rank for. In an ideal situation where we're at, is that we always try to make certain that obviously we're ranking number one for the keyword we want to rank for, but then number two is our guest post, which is classed as being Parasite SEO. That guest post is getting traffic and clicks through to your website. Now, people have started to leverage it also for direct links out to, like, say, affiliate clicks and stuff like that, which we've done as well in the iGaming industry. So in the casino industry, if not that DR means everything, but if my DR is only 55 and I can get a placement on Outlook India, right, or another site which might be a DR 90 site, and I could write a good quality article on that site that is good enough to rank, try to get one or two internal links if the editors allow you to get one or two internal links through to that page, then send. So a lot of people getting it wrong where they just think they can write an article on a site and that's it, good enough. It's not, right? Once you've done that, if you can try to get two internal links, if you can, happy days. If you can get more, even better. If you can't get any, even if you can get a couple, hit a few of your PBNs through to that URL and then hit a Signal Boy. So signalboy.com do like an engagement blast. So what it does is they go and share that URL on something like 300, Reddit, Quora, Facebook, Twitter, basically on social media. And they normally ask the community a question like, can you just check this is working? Well, what it's doing is it's not just the social signals, it's getting people clicking onto the link, going through to Outlook India's page, scrolling down and checking a link works, right? And then from there, then that engagement, Google seeing that engagement through to that URL and the behavioral signals through to that URL alongside some tier 2 backlinks being done, and then they jump up the page. So it's not just the DR of the site, it's the engagement signals and the tier 2 backlinks and good quality content, which is getting that to rank. And is that going to go? I don't think it is. And the reason being is because Google's always going to use engagement signals and behavioral signals. Google's always going to use page rank within its algorithm. Google's always going to score the content, and it's already on a really, really high DR site. What might change is what parasite websites to use. So if Outlook India keeps being spammed and spammed and spammed all the time, at some point, Google might penalize Outlook India. But guess what's going to happen? Another site's going to come along that you can do it on. So it's always going to be here. Is it a long-term strategy? No, because their site might get deleted, or even worse, what the difficult part is within Parasite SEO is there's times where you could rank that article and the editor might get paid money to change the affiliate links to one of your competitors' affiliate links. You don't own the article. Yeah. Like, it's on Outlook India's site. So you're renting that page out pretty much, and you don't own the property. So that worries me a little bit. But as long as, again, if you're wearing your return on investment hat, if it costs you $500 for an Outlook India page, $100 to write the article, and maybe $200 in tier twos, and that's $800. As long as you can make double or treble that back as a minimum, then it's worth doing. Do you know what I mean? So you've just got to try and work it out. Will it work well for your industry and niche? Could I get over £2,000 back for ranking for that keyword? Yes, do it. Like, we don't do it in the local space because it's not worth the investment of paying $800 to do all that. But for some bigger terms like best casino sites, stuff like that, well, yes, if it only ranked for 1 month, it could earn you ridiculous numbers, like maybe up to £100,000 in the month for that one page. If it ranks for all the secondary keywords and you've got all the right affiliate deals, then yeah, it could make you a fortune. And obviously then you pay £800 to get £100,000 back. It's a worthwhile investment, but it's not for everyone. Do these people know how to write good quality content and get the engagement signals and get the tier twos? No. And then at that point, people then say Parasite SEO doesn't work, just like a rank and rent model doesn't work. You don't know how to rank it. So then at that point, it doesn't work. But does the model work? Yes, like a rank and rent model works. Parasite SEO works if you know how to do it. But people don't do the signal buy kind of signals. People don't do the tier twos. People don't get the internal links and don't write good quality content. So for those, it doesn't work. For people that do know how it works very, very, very well.
So what you're saying is, like, put your eggs, but don't put all of your eggs into Parasite SEO.
Exactly that, yeah. Diversify your income in as many streams as you can. You must be selling a hell of a lot of PBNs for Parasite now. Like, so many people, like, every time someone speaks to me about Parasite, I'm always like, go and speak to Saket. Like,
I've been sending links to Outlook India since the last 3 years. It just got popular recently. So there was this big player in the industry, and I think he mentioned you, like, you know, all the top boys. So so he was saying he was just pumping this Outlook India in times of Israel and stuff like that, like 2 years ago. And I was like, what the fuck's that? you know, and then he's buying like 2,000 links, and I'm like, holy shit. He's just sending. And like some pages kind of sustain and other pages kind of get replaced. So it's just, you have to be careful.
You definitely got to be careful. Like you said, in certain industries, it's worth it. In certain industries, it's not. But you've just got to work out what industries it's worth it for. Like if you're doing health supplements of stuff like that, it's worth it. And if you can rank for it, it's worth it. Do you know what I mean? If you can do some crypto stuff, it's worth it. If you're doing certain finance, like mortgage brokers and stuff like that, and the interest rates have just changed and there's a big spark in traffic, it's worth it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got to choose your battles of whether it's worth it or not. Like if boxing, so if Usyk and Tyson Fury fight on the 23rd of December, if you can rank for boxing free bets or best boxing odds or something like that 2 days before that fight, that there's going to be a massive surge in traffic around that time for that big fight. or if UFC's on this weekend and you could rank for whoever's fighting, there's going to be a big surge of traffic for that term that weekend. So for that reason, sometimes Parasite SEO is better than doing it on your own site, because you only need it to rank for 48 hours for that event, hit loads of traffic, hit loads of engagement from Signal Boy, hit loads of tier twos, rank it for 48 hours, make you £100,000, done, move on to the next event. And that's what some people are doing. But that's where some of these are coming to you for. I've referred so many people over your way for like tier twos and stuff like that, for sure.
Coming to the next topic I wanted to cover, and it's to do with the GVC, like joint venture partnerships. Like, so I realized, like, if I kind of not ask money for the links and I kind of ask equity, I might get a bigger return if they sell out, you know, profits, shares.
Yeah.
What are your current joint venture partnerships and how they come into your table for you? And what's your advice for the people who are approaching it, like for link sellers or agency owners and stuff?
I'd be careful as a link seller to enter a lot of partnerships, because what a lot of people do, you get so many people that come to you saying, I've got this amazing idea. If you can provide me with all the links, I'll give you 50% of the commissions. But then I've heard so many people not get the 50% of the commissions. I'll get paid a little bit and go, well, I paid you for that if it worked. And if it didn't work, you don't get paid. You're getting 50% of nothing, right? Where if it did work, they kind of feel like they should only pay you for the links. So you're in a no-lose situation, like you're in a lose-lose situation where you may as well just sell the links, if you get what I mean. Unless you really know the person and you've known them for a number of years, I wouldn't enter partnerships like that. So many partnerships go sour and go wrong. Even when you know the people and your class as being good friends with them, partnerships can go wrong. So if you don't know them, they're pretty much going to go wrong, right? Unless they're a genuinely nice person, partnerships are pretty much going to go wrong. Over the years, I'm very frugal in business decisions with what I do. So I would if let's say me and you wanted to enter a partnership, in my head, I want to first and foremost think of the worst case scenario. So let's say we've got a site and it's doing well, and then it gets absolutely decimated, loses 90% traffic. How are you as an individual going to be in that situation? Are you going to be calm, chilled? Don't worry, James, we're going to find this problem, we're going to sort it out. Or are you going to be all over the place, oh, I can't believe it, and annoying me in a situation where I'm feeling upset and down and in the dumps that we've just lost 90%, but my business partner, I'm almost needing to consult him in being like, I don't need you being a pain as well as us losing 90% of the traffic. Are these going to be like, let's roll up our sleeves and work together and we'll sort it? So sometimes it's about the person in general. Can I work with him when things are going to go wrong? Because they might go wrong. That's one bit I always look at. And two, I know in my partnerships, I'm always going to deliver more because I've got a big team behind me than what my business partner is, right? I know I'm going to do more than what they are because I'm built that way as well to make certain I try and do more. So in my head, I want my business partner, when I'm looking at my business partner, I expect them, and this is you've got to think about this kind of saying, I expect them, if we're a 50-50 partnership, that for them to be doing 60% of the work, right? So if they've got the mindset that they're going to do 60% of the work, and I know that I'm going to do more than them, all what's going to happen is they're going to do 60%. I start doing more. They start going, oh shit, I need to do more because they're doing more. And what it does is it elevates each other to be like, wow, this is good. Well, a lot of 50-50 partnerships, what starts to happen is it kind of goes down because people go, well, he's not putting the time in, so why should I put the time in? And that's where a lot of partnerships go wrong. Where if I've got a partner, I want them to be thinking in their head, yeah, I'm doing a bit more, but then next one I come along and do way more. He's going, oh God, I meant to do 60%, and he's just done more than me. So we like I said, we're both climbing the ladder together. We're both elevating each other. It's a positive situation. Even when something goes wrong, I don't want problems. I want solutions, right? So in that scenario, a lot of my JVs comes down to who I'm doing it with. Have they got the right mindset? Because generally speaking, in this industry, long term we'll have a successful relationship. Long term, because we're good at what we do. But will I enjoy it with them? Will I enjoy that success with him? And obviously, on the bits where we've hit a trough, is he going to sulk, or is he going to like do well with it? And a lot of it comes down to, like I said, comes down to mindset. I'd be very, very, very careful with who you choose. I'll probably get about 50 new JVs opportunities a day. I get so many through, like it's unbelievable. Like. And I've not even got a personal brand. Do you know what I mean? I'm only just starting doing the podcasts. So many people come to me with opportunities. I've got this site, I've got that site. Do you want to do this 50% on the uplift of the site? Or do you want to do this? Or would you like to invest in this product? Would you like to invest in this service? And it's nice to have, but now I've got like a different email, and it just kind of goes through to them. And I allow two of my team members to look through to see whether is it worth even presenting it to me and showing me what the opportunity is. They'll ask one or two questions back to whoever's giving me an opportunity. And I'm always looking for new opportunities, but I've got like a vetting process in place now where two of them will like double check, is it worth my time to look into this further and see whether I should put some money into it or put some of my team's time into it as well.
Sweet. What's your vetting process like when you get all these inquiries? Are you looking at like the brand making a decent number? Are you looking at them being a significant new AI industry or a SaaS project? Like, what's your vetting process?
That's a great question, because it does vary for every single kind of opportunity. So I kind of look to say, have I got a gap in what we do at present? Would it improve all of our own products and services of what we do anyway? So if someone just comes along to me saying, "Oh, I've got a guest posting site. I sell guest posts. I've already got one or two agencies that sell guest posts, so I don't need another." So in that scenario, it doesn't mean that I wouldn't be interested in investing. Then it's just all about the numbers. I don't need it, but then it's all about the numbers. So is the numbers, am I going to get it at like 18 months to 2 years kind of multiple? And if I do, well, that's a great investment. If they're wanting 3 or 4 or 5 years, I'm thinking, well, I've got other opportunities that I can probably get it back within 18 months to 2 years. So at that point, I'm like, it's not for me. It might be a good proposition for some people, but I'm getting a lot more opportunities. So that's really not for me. But if it's new, like if it's a SaaS AI product, and I feel I could use that product for my own personal gains on the assets that we have, then I'm less likely to think about how long it is before I get the return on investment back, because even if it just helps my team, it'd be worth me investing in. So for that, it might open opportunities. So if it's something I'm already in, it's all about the numbers. What revenue they're doing, what gross profit they're doing, what net profit they're doing, how many staff have they got, what kind of trends is it for the kind of service. So if it was like fidget spinners and stuff like that for kids, it's like, well, it might only be a 6-month type of timeline before the kids move on to the next product. Do you know what I mean? But if it's a service that I think they're always going to need this service and it's evergreen, then I might go, well, yeah, it could be a good opportunity. But I think they've got like I think it's like 28-point checklist of what they go down.
Okay.
And yeah, some of that is gross profit, net profit and stuff like that. But there is times where it could be a not profit making business at present, and I might still be interested if I feel I could deliver some growth within that industry.
Awesome. And how do people watching this podcast, if they are interested to, present something?
I don't normally promote. I've not got like a set site.
Okay.
I'm an angel investor. I'm a venture capitalist or whatever it is. Like I don't have a site set up. Where they normally inquire through is on fatrank.com. I've got a page that says like invest in digital assets. And I think on there I say like, if you've ever got an idea, like get in touch. So what they normally do is if someone's watching this podcast and they want to present me with an idea, go onto fatrank.com and go through to the contact page and just give me your idea. And not only that is a lot of them will respond back to majority of them, as long as it's not ridiculously shocking kind of offer. If it's not for us, we might actually, I might send a Loom video myself back to him saying, look, apologies, it's not really something I'm looking to invest in at the moment. However, if I did, I would do X, Y, and Z. And I might be able to help him in some ways to say, I feel like your branding's not on point, or I think you should start selling, you're only selling guest posts. I think a lot of people that buy guest posts also buy niche edits, so I think you should offer niche edits as well. Or, do you know what I mean? Something along those lines. Or they've got a decent website, but they're only doing display ads. And I'm like, could you also do lead generation, tenancy? Could you also do affiliate? Could you also, if you're getting loads of traffic, could you rent out your Facebook pixel through to like a big supplier? There's loads of different ways that you can monetize a brand. I might just be able to help them on that front. So yeah, go onto fatrank.com, go onto the contact page and then present me with an idea and I can see whether it's for us to invest into, whether I put money into it or my team into growing it, or two, I can give you some feedback with where I feel you could improve and generate more profits on it.
Yeah, and I'll add the link to the description as well, so you can just like go over straight away. 15 inquiries a day. Like, how are you delegating your time? Like, what's the team looking like?
I don't deal with that. Some of them could be that they're mainly wanting lead generation for the business, and they're like, I don't really like the rank and rent model. I want you to invest in the company, come in and help us grow our own website, and we'll work together on it and stuff like that. So some of them straight away, it's like, I don't know what profit margins you're making, and I don't know how to track end to end. Have you got a database at the moment? Have you got a sales team? There's like certain questions like that. There's just 2 members of staff that just deal with. We probably generate in total close to 1,000 leads every single day. Is how many leads we're generating across the agency.
And how are you delegating your SEO tasks to non-SEO task? What's your strategy?
We've just got a team. So on the investment, there's 2 people in the office that understand everything to do with whether it's a good investment or a bad investment. If they both kind of come back to say good investment, it then comes to me. So maybe 1 or 2 out of those 50 might land on my desk to say we both feel that this is a good investment. And at that point, then I can look into it and check. Because there's one thing that I can't buy, and that's time. So I've got to be I'm very, very, very time conscious. So I've got to make certain that I'm using my time in the best possible way that I can. Staff and stuff like that can do nearly all of the work. So there's a lot of like, if someone tries to hit me up on Skype or anything like that, it's not me, it's members of my team that's speaking to them. They're mainly like the casino affiliates and stuff like that. They all seem to use Skype. And yeah, I've got a very good team around me of middle managers. So I employed a decade ago a load of apprentices. I went down the apprenticeship route because I employed SEO gurus and SEO experts, and they were shocking. And it was hard to teach them because it's hard. I always used the saying, it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. So it was very, very difficult to get them to change their mentality, exactly what we were talking about before. So I was like, do you know what? I feel like I'm better to get a new starter out of university or college or school that doesn't know anything about SEO, but they're willing to learn and work hard. And that's pretty much, as long as there's all right, I kind of look and go, as long as they're all right educationally, let's say in English and maths, I can train these up. These look like they're going to, from an interview, it looks like they're going to want to work hard and they're willing to learn. And now 6 of those apprentices are all directors now within the company. So the progression that they've done has been incredible. And some of those are like who'll look at my investment opportunities and stuff like that. And then I've got like a team of like middle management, and then underneath them, they'll either have other members of staff or virtual assistants. I try and make certain that every one of my middle managers have got 10 VAs underneath them that works with them, and then that's how we can scale stuff out. So like I might present that to 2 of my members of staff. That could actually go out to 20 members of staff, because they might delegate it to some VAs to see their feedback, to feed it back to them, for them to give the feedback, which feeds back to me. Do you know what I mean? So I just know who deals with it from my point of view, and they can delegate it out to whoever they seem fit. So like I've got one graphic designer and one videographer, but actually on our books I think there's like 17, but I only speak to one of them, and that one person I just say, I want an image for this, this, and this. They go off and do it. Whether they do it themselves, I don't know. They probably use a guy that's good on Canva. Do you know what I mean? To create some of the images. On the videos, it could be, I'm not really certain what kind of video editing tools that they're using and stuff, but it could be someone in Bangladesh or in India or in Philippines. Do you know what I mean? It could be South Africa, Venezuela. We've got VAs all over the world that work for us that do a really good job. But I can't be speaking to those on a day-to-day basis because there's just too many of them. So I'll speak to the one graphic designer who will manage all the graphic design team and stuff like that, and speak to one videographer who'll speak to the videographer team and the script writing team and the voiceover team and the editing team and the YouTube shorts kind of team. And like, there's all like different kind of people that do different roles. I just have to deal with one of them that deals with that situation. I deal with one class, like you've dealt over the years plenty of times with Dan and Elliot. So they do a lot with digital PR, guest posts, niche edits, citations, and all that type of stuff. There's no point. I think there's probably times you probably tried to get hold of me, haven't you? And I'm like, speak to Dan and Elliot, mate. I don't know. Like, I don't really know the ins and outs exactly on the day-to-day of what's needed on what website. I know that they're absolutely amazing at what they do, and they know to the nth degree, because their testing team will tell them as well, okay, we need to start doing more directories and less do follow links, or we need to start doing more do follow links because there's not enough power. And they just get trained up, and the team's well versed and well educated. Some of them in the office, well, the majority of them are better than me at what I like in each part of what they do. But they say that's what you should do. You should employ people that are better than you at stuff that you're weak at. And I'm pretty much weak in every element of SEO. Like, but my team, each member of my team are probably, in my opinion, the best in the world at each element. And I'm just the glue between it all that kind of presents my head of content with my technical team that does the internal linking, which goes to my link building team when the site's built and stuff like that, and so on and so on. That I just understand all the moving components of what's needed. And it kind of goes back to when you asked me right at the very start, what did I do before SEO? And I was a project manager. I feel like I'm a project manager now, but I'm just a project manager.
Project manager and a digital landlord, not SEO expert.
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
Yeah, I was talking. That's amazing, man. Like I do understand the level you're playing at, but I don't really, because I don't really in your position in your day to day and kind of have the direct experience for what you have in. And it's amazing, like how various things you kind of having some principles and approaches and kind of, mindsets, and there's so much value for the audience who's watching. Kasra was on the podcast last 3 episodes ago, and he mentioned, like, off camera or on camera, I don't remember, that you and him get into a lot of like heated debates, SEO, non-SEO, and there's a lot of criticism, and I think today people like very soft and they can't really take criticism. So having criticism between partners and still being able to do like top level kind of like business and have a great relationship, like how do you embrace criticism and get to that level of like understanding, hey, okay.
So it's very important. One of the first things that we do when you was asking about partners and stuff like that, or just employees and members of staff and stuff like that, when we first look to take them on, the first month with every single member of staff, right? I won't try to say we make it hell, but we specifically go in on them of things we don't like, right? So if they're a graphic designer, if with something we don't like, I want everyone going, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like this, I don't like that, all the time. And we're being almost like perfectionist with the logo. And some of these logos might have been okay. And what normally happens in the first few days, they normally ask me for a chat, or if it's let's say the graphic designer, they might ask the head of graphic design for a chat. And they say like, oh, I don't think I'm doing very well, and everyone's having a go at me. And they're like, no, that's just part and parcel of it. So you're trying to, right from the word go, get them people to embrace criticism. Because if they can't embrace criticism, they can't work with you. Because if you can't be honest with someone saying that content's a load of garbage because they're going to get upset, well, sorry, I don't want to work with you. If you can't say, I don't like that video, if you don't like it, there's something fundamentally wrong where you can't say something to a member of staff or to a partner. That's rubbish. Of course you can say something if you don't like it. And if you do like it, you praise them and say, that's really good and I like it because of X, Y, and Z. But if you don't like it, you can't just say, I don't like it. You need to give a reason. But if it's a reason, then, and somebody else goes, yeah, I can see where you're coming from. That could be bolder, that, or this could be in green, might work there. They go off and come back with 2 or 3 different designs. And if majority say they prefer this one to that one, or they prefer this one, well, we'll go with majority, because design and content is very subjective as well. So it's not just my opinion. If I prefer this design, doesn't mean it's the nicest looking design. If everybody else says that one's nicer, I'm going to go with that one, even though I think that one's nicer, because design comes down to your own eye and what your own subjective thoughts.
Yeah.
So with regards to Kazra, I don't know if people know this or not, but I met Kazra about, I don't know if it was like 4 years ago or something like that, a meet up in Liverpool. And Kazra was just a web designer. She was just doing web design for a company in Northampton. And I met him, and within 10 minutes of speaking to him, I knew that he was really ambitious. I knew he had the entrepreneurial mindset. And I knew that long term I could do different businesses with him. So to start with, I just said to Kazra, I want to offer you a job. And I employed him, right? And for the first 12 months, Kazra was just a web designer. And he was building out websites and developing websites. But I knew he wanted to learn and develop. So in the background, I was saying, like, do this course, do that course, do this course, do that course. So Kazra's built up this very, very quickly. He's been fast-tracked of doing all his courses in development. And he's always had the entrepreneurial mindset that he's wanted to do his own things and develop and kind of branch out. And then from there, I just started opening opportunities. So like let's say someone in the investment team might come to me saying, I think this is a good idea. And I might say, it is a good idea, but I haven't got time to put it in. Kazra, do you want to come and do this with me? And Kazra might say, yes, I'll put some money into that, and I'm happy to kind of run with that. And Kazra's now started to build up his own assets and develop and stuff from there. But Kazra lives local to me. He lives like half a mile away. And so does Scott. And what we always do is we always play devil's advocate. So like maybe 3 or 4 days a week, we'll go into the office. And it's about a 30-minute drive. So when we go into the office in that 30 minutes, we just debate, like, and it's always like, sometimes even if I know an answer, let's say but is link building important, right? We try and play, if Kazra starts going on about, oh, link building is the most important Google ranking factor, me and Scott will try and play devil's advocate to say why it's not, even if we might think that it is, so that we're all kind of showing 2 sides of the arguments on everything. And then the next day we could be talking about internal linking and can you over-optimize your internal anchor text and just little things like that. But we're just chatting every day, and we're just trying to debate stuff, because it's boring if you all sit there and agree. So sometimes these debates, the debates are good, and actually you start picking things up and you learn so much from like what someone might say. So like Kazra, at the moment, like we talk a lot about AI. Now, no one knows the full kind of implications of what AI can do yet. Like no one, it's growing at a ridiculous rate of knots. So we're always trying to see what we could do to improve our processes and using AI and embracing AI. And yeah, we have great debates, but we love it. Like we absolutely love it. And And that's what I want with my business partners. I want to be able to go in on them hard and be like, I don't like this, to try and improve it. You've got best intentions at heart to improve the business and improve profits and do stuff. So as long as both your partners know that, well, it's fine. Like, that's what it's all about. Work is about trying to evolve and develop every single day in some way, shape, or form, in my opinion.
Beautiful perspective. Beautiful. Yeah. How much time? What's your focus now? Like moving forward, like is it going to be like the rank and rent side of things, lead generation, joint ventures? I know you're a father to two beautiful children. Yeah. How do you like kind of like balance? Because I heard like you're trying to agree and disagree and kind of go to both sides of the pendulum to just kind of finding balance, and listening to that, I think you're a man of balance. So what's the balance in James Dooley like?
So I completely moved it another way around. So instead of a work-life balance, right, I understood that my work is not work, right? I love what I do. I absolutely love what I do, right? I don't need to work another day in my life, but I choose to because I love it, right? So knowing that I love it, my work is my hobby and my interest as well, right? So when I know, like, within myself that this is like, if some people like gaming, that's fine. I don't like gaming. I think SEO is gaming. That's what I like. I feel like it's a game for me to do SEO. So
do you think us talking is a game right now? We're in a game of podcasting.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
But I feel like I change it from a work-life balance, which then means how many hours do you put in work? How many hours do you put in sleep? How many hours do you put in going to the gym? How many hours do you put in friends? How many hours do you put in family and stuff like that? To a work-life integration. So I bring my wife, like, I met you out in Dubai, right? I went and met you out in Dubai, and I met several other really high level SEOs out in Dubai, and we go over there for a month. I was with my wife and I was with my kids, and my mum sometimes comes out and my friends come out. So I'm having a holiday, and some of my friends at home go, "You're always on holiday, you're right, lazy fucker." And I'm like, well, no, I'm not. Like, because all the people who I work with say, you never switch off, you're always working. So I say, how can, like, my people who I work with say, you work 98% of your life, like, you work too much. And then all my friends say, God, you don't work, you're retired, you don't do anything. I'm like, that kind of tells me I've got a good balance.
Yeah.
Because I integrate it all together. If I feel like I don't want to work one day, I'll go out with the kids and do something. I do try to make certain I do spend as much time. Over the years, I've read a lot of books and listened to a lot of stories about the most successful billionaires in the world. Kind of a lot of people on their deathbed said, I wish I'd spent more time with my family. Like, they became obsessed with what they do. So I'm trying to make certain I don't go down that route. And I'm trying to make certain I spend as much time as my kids growing up as I can. So my day-to-day is we normally get up about 5 o'clock in the morning. I'll pick Kazza up and Scott up. We'll go into the office. We'll have the 30 minutes of debates on the way into the car, on the way to the office. We'll go in the office from like 6 till 1. We'll work in the office. Maybe 6 till 9, I'm at my best, like in flow state, because not many people are in the office then. I'm just focused and I'm getting some work done. We'll work till 1. At 1 o'clock, we'll go to the gym. So we're going to do a decent workout at the gym. We do a sauna, a steam room, and like an ice bath. We like doing that kind of routine after we've been to the gym. Then I'll come home. I'll be home for about 3 o'clock. And from 3 till 7 o'clock every day, I have as my kids, like me and my 2 kids and my wife. So we'll go to like a soft play centre. We'll go to the park. We'll go on a bike ride. We'll just go and do something that's not in the house. I don't like being in the house. I like being in the house, but I mean, like, I like them going out. I'm not bothered if it's raining, if it's muddy. Just get outside and get some fresh air. So we go out. every day, and just go and do things, and explore, go in the woods, go in the forest, go out on the bike. My daughter's learning to ride her bike at the moment. My youngest son's just turned 1, so he's now just starting walking. So we might go on the field and let him run around. And if he falls over, it's only eating like the grass. And I feel like I've got a good balance. I see my family a lot. I see all my friends a lot. I still play football. But I still feel like I work as hard as I need to work. And yeah, I feel like if I'd segmented it, I couldn't have done what I've done. But because I've integrated it all together, my wife, like, she understands it. She sometimes says, for me to get her attention, she'll call herself a featured snippet, and like she comes up with like banter, like stuff like that. Say, "You'd give me more attention if I said that I'll talk about backlinks or something like that." But we've got a great relationship, and she understands what I'm all about. She lets me like blossom and do what I want to do, but in return, I've got respect for home life and want to make certain that I want to be the best dad in the world. But I think everybody does. So I want to be the best dad in the world. I want to be successful, but I want to also make certain I've got time for friends and family and experiences. Like you'll see as well, like when you was out, like I have no watch.
Yeah.
I have no tattoo. I know you've got like a lot of nice tattoos, which is who you are, but I've no watch. I've no tattoos. I've no jewelry. I've no expensive car. I'm no materialist. I'm not materialistic in any way, shape, or form. I'm just all about experiences and memories. That's me. Like it's just my time is the best gift I can give anyone. So I don't buy. I don't know this sounds bad, and stuff like that, but Kerry, my wife's got to love it. Like I don't buy any presents at Christmas. I don't buy any presents at birthdays. I don't want any presents back. But indirectly, I do buy presents because I'll buy. We'll go on holidays and we'll experience things and we'll go out and do things and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I've always been about. I hate materials. I hate gifts. I just all about experiences and memories.
Wow. Beautiful answer. Thanks for sharing your heartwarming answer. I'm also being very mindful of your time. So we're going to wrap into the last set of questions. And like following up what you said, like, how do you balance between, like, I can see from how you express and your body language and your speech, like there's a level of humbleness in it, like a gratitude. How do you balance like gratitude and hunger for more and building an empire? And like, how do you connect those two? Because one person who's like satisfied, they might think they are in gratitude, but they're not. Like, so it's kind of a slippery slope. But yeah, I'll ask anyways.
I hate anyone that's got an end goal. So someone going to put a price tag on something like, all right, my target is 150 million. And once I get 150 million, I'll be happy. No, you won't. Like you won't. If you're not happy now, getting to the 150 million, you won't be happy when you hit 150 million. Like it's all about the journey of getting where you are. And certain people I've known hit targets. So prime example, I had a good friend and I remember him saying, the minute I get the price tag of the business to 40 million, I'm selling and I'm done, I'm retiring. And within 6 months, and he was one of the healthiest guys I'd ever met. Really happy, had a really happy family, had a kid, had a happy wife, retired, and within 6 months, he killed himself. Now, this guy never suffered from depression, never suffered from anything. And I remember him saying to me one time when I met him that I just feel like I'm in a massive black hole. I'm like, mate, what are you on about? And he's like, I worked all my life to get to this goal. And when I achieved this goal, he said the easiest way of explaining it was I was climbing up the mountain and I thought on the other side of the mountain would be beautiful countryside and this beautiful life when I climbed down the mountain that way. And when I climbed up to the top of the mountain, it was a cliff edge. And he says, and I've got two choices. I've either got to jump off the cliff edge, but I thought that this was this beautiful life and something else, or I turn back round and walk back down the mountain I just came from. And he thought that this pivotal point in his life would hit this kind of the top and then come back down. And a lot of people that are trekking and do hikes say that sometimes it's not the destination at the top that's the best. It's the climbing up it that's the best. Sometimes at the top, it's you can't see anything. It's loads of fog. It's blazing winds and it's not that nice at the top. So sometimes it's the journey up that's the better. So in answer to it is, yeah, I'm always humble because I don't have any set goals. I don't really have any, oh my God, you're really successful. I don't even see myself as being successful, if I'm being honest. I just enjoy life each day. I enjoy family time and friend time. And a lot of the hunger now seems to come from the people that are around me, having the right partners. They're still maybe in their progression of like they want exponential growth. And I'm part of their life and I'm part of their businesses and I'm business partners. And I'm not going to slow them down. So I want them to do well and I'll push them on to be better and bigger and more successful financially or whatever. But that's not really my end goal. My end goal is just trying, if I can wake up, like I'm very humble in the fact that if I can wake up every morning, that's an achievement. Every day I wake up is a bonus. If I've got a roof over my head, that's more than a lot of people in the world. And if I've got a tap where I can turn water and cold water can come out and it's clean water, there's people in the world that have to walk 2 kilometers to go and get clean water every single day. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I've got gratitude. Yes, I am humble because I understand that I'm actually in a fortunate position, even if I had nothing with work, that being where I've been brought up, I've always had a roof over my head and I've always had clean water coming out of the tap. And if I can always kind of stay to that mentality, if I go out and have a steak, I'm not going to compare it to another steak. When I've had a better steak, I'll go, I'm so fortunate that I can eat a steak. Do you know what I mean? Some people can't. Some people are eating rice every single night. So if you kind of compare, I always say comparison is the thief of joy. If you kind of take that out of your life and just have gratitude for everything, even if it's not the nicest steak and they've overcooked it slightly, you still sat there eating a steak on a plate with a knife and fork. Some people have got to eat rice out their hands. Do you know what I mean? So if you kind of compare it to that, you're going, actually, I'm in a good position here.
Thanks. Beautiful, man. Coming to the last segment of the podcast. So this is something which we just introduced and it's kind of on the, like you'll be the first guest to kind of witness it and we'll see how that goes. So it's going to be a rapid fire SEO round and we're going to give you 2 options and you just like answer which is preferable to your personality or your mindset. So we're going to start with the rapid fire SEO round. And the first one, backlinks or content?
Both. Or do I have to choose?
Yeah.
Backlinks.
Backlink. Dubai or Spain?
Dubai.
SEO or horses?
SEO.
Masterminds or conferences?
Masterminds, definitely.
And the last one, who's a better SEO, James Dooley or Kasra Dash?
Obviously me.
Beautiful. Thanks, James. It's been, I think it's almost like a 2-hour podcast or something. Thanks for coming. It's been a joy for me listening to all your wisdom and SEO insights and business insights and how many topics we covered: digital, nomadic insights, family, this and that. Like, I think I'll have to get like 2 editors to just subsection each each topic. It's going to be a lot, but yeah, we appreciate you coming. And for our listeners, if you want to give them any last advice and where they can find you if they want to connect with you and stuff.
Yeah, so I've got jamesdooley.com. On there, you'll find all my social profiles. If you scroll down to the bottom, I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm starting to do quite a lot more on YouTube. I might get some like YouTube shorts from this video and stuff like that. Just hit me up on any one of them. Ask me any questions that you want. I'll try and respond when I can. Keep grinding away. If you're at the start of learning, you just got to keep learning and developing your skills. There's no one course that's going to teach you everything to do with SEO. There's different nuances from niche to niche. So there's no course out there that's a perfect course for you to do. Just work hard, enjoy your life, and peace.
Thanks, James. Peace.
Always, mate.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much.
Thanks.